Fairy Tale and Culture. This review is of the multicultural fairy tale collection Anansi Storytime. Since this audio drama is an anthology, the subject matter being critiqued will be the following episodes: Building Asgard's Wall, Norse; The Island of Skeletons, Native American; Dr. Knowall, Germanic; Why Anansi Has 8 Thin Legs, Akan/African. This list should serve as enough of a showcase of the different cultures the podcast tackles. With 18 episodes at the time of writing this review, I tried my best to include one for each major region of the world. Obviously, I couldn't get all of them. Building Asgard's Wall and Why Anansi Has 8 Thin Legs. Variations and Diversity. Ever since Marvel Studios introduced Thor into their universe, the desire to learn more about Norse mythology has gone up. At the very least, comparing and contrasting actual myth with the comic book is a fun exercise, and Building Asgard's Wall does it beautifully. Highly doubtful it was their intention, but their characterization of key players in both mythology and the MCU, like Loki, is on point. Granted, most of my knowledge comes from Crash Course Mythology and the MCU, meaning it's secondhand at best. Still, the story is told in the style of a more Western-themed fairy tale. It even starts with Once Upon a Time. To be honest, it felt odd hearing those words and similar variations of that phrase throughout this sample collection. Essentially, an Anansi origin story, Why Anansi Has 8 Thin Legs is a tale not unlike those explaining how the leopard got its spots. At least you can't help but compare the two. Told with slapstick humor, this African tale has a lot more in common with Western storytelling of the same time period than one might think. Native American skeletons and an uncommon grim fairy tale. With the title like The Island of Skeletons, images of the supernatural jump to mind. While otherworldly elements are present in many fairy tales, this one included, the emotional core of the story is very much not about the paranormal at all. Yes, the main trials the character goes through to achieve his goal are cemented in the spirit realm, but the story is very much a hero's journey. And while the argument that Campbell's theory of myth is universal has been debunked by not only writers, but neuroscientists as well, the story is no less an excellent example of the power of this style of storytelling. Compare that tale to a more Western-centered model of fiction, and you'll see more similarities than differences. This could come as a surprise to some, as the story of Dr. Knowall is a grim fairy tale, a lesser-known one when compared to ones like Hansel and Gretel, but a story in their bibliography nevertheless. The analogous elements of the two stories differ in tone, but follow a similar plot. Dr. Knowall is a true children's tale. The Island of Skeletons feels more like a modern-day young adult story, as it is surprisingly dark. Overall, these 4 stories from 4 different cultures proves the wealth of fiction across the world, and that no matter where you are, good storytelling has no boundaries. 4 out of 5 stars.
Welcome to the Disruptive Entrepreneur Podcast.
What does the word disruptive mean to you?
Means going beyond the ordinary, going beyond the status quo.
Not thinking in the conventional way, not just sort of following the herd.
Disruptive means shaking things up, you know?
Disruptive entrepreneur is somebody who sees the problem and embraces the problem with a new way.
Shake up and awakening.
Quality will take care of itself, and you'll go from being disruptive but also profitable.
When you use your reservoir of talent, when you love what you do, then you disrupt.
Mix it up, change it up, and dominate.
And now, your host, 8 times best-selling author and double world record holder, Rob Moore.
Next time on Audio Drama Reviews.
I don't think we've bumped up against the limit of the kinds of stories that people can tell yet. I can't think of any deficiencies. Do you tell me, is there something that you're like, oh man, like someone really needs to do something like this, or someone needs to adapt this kind of primary text? Like what do you feel like we need out there?
I'd say we have plenty of science fiction, as like your podcast, for example.
Yeah.
Not a lot of fantasy, oddly enough.
Hey, Mike Berganza here, founder of Audio Drama Reviews. If you like what you heard, consider following us on Twitter and Facebook, subscribing to our YouTube and SoundCloud channels, and last but not least, our Patreon and iTunes accounts. Links to all those in the episode description. Have a great Audio Drama Sunday. Did you know you can read these reviews before they're released on the feed? Sign up for our email list and get new reviews delivered straight to your inbox. You'll be the first to know about new content coming to the site. Thanks for listening.